All right, Shalom. First, let's start by sending all praise to Yahweh by Shemel Shai, by Shemel Kakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles that we will, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Now, as you can see the title, why more renters are being evicted in the middle of the pandemic. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it.
Stay at home. But many Americans don't have stable housing. And as William Brangham reports, a growing number of people are being forced out of their homes because they cannot make rent payments.
Like tens of thousands of Americans right now, Rhonda Anderson and her family are being evicted.
So it's stressful and it's hard. They can go outside.
Let's back up. Last December, Anderson's family was excited when they moved to North Charleston, South Carolina. She and her husband had both found good jobs and this nice rental home close to work. But then, 3 months after they moved, the pandemic hit. Anderson's husband lost his home restoration job when the virus and the shutdown dried up all his company's projects.
My husband filed for unemployment, still didn't get no unemployment. So basically it left me in a situation to do stuff by myself. Try to keep food in the house and try to pay the rent.
Rhonda took on extra hours at her job. She's the head cook at a local nursing home. These days, she's working up to 75 hours a week, but it still hasn't been enough to make rent on time.
I've never been in this situation before anyway. Never.
After paying...
Right, now Jake and them going through this because they don't want to come back to Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. That's it, that's all. This Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, right? So the men's supposed to be the priests and supposed to be taking on his word and making sure their household is in order and getting prepared for Yahweh Shemel Shai's return. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. Right, so, eventually the Lord going to kill them off and their children because they don't want to come back to him. This is Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Right, and that's for all the women that's that don't care about Yahweh Shemel Shai, that's at ease in this place, that's prospering and benefiting and out this place and not caring about righteousness. Many days and years shall you be troubled. And she said that at the beginning of the clip, man. And it's only gonna get worse. Ye careless woman, that's just her being chastised, man. At the end of the video, she gonna eventually find another place, but the next time the Lord might not shew her no mercy or shew them no mercy. It says, many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage, the American dream, shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Right, man, so them wanting to live the American dream in this society, them women and everything, man, they gonna die right along with they gonna go down right along with the society, man. They're not gonna be able to live that American dream, man, because everything coming down right in front of their face. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins, right, man? So while the Lord bringing this place down, he's bringing these women down with it, and they're going through all types of hell. That's why they I don't know how long the OnlyFans page been out. The whole OnlyFans situation been out, but a lot of these women gonna revert to trying to sell their bodies and everything, But eventually, they just gonna be reduced to spoil. They're not gonna have no decisions, no choices in any matters, because it's gonna be all out war that's going on, man. So this is just the beginning stages.
The rent late in April and in May, her landlord told her she was being evicted.
I'm asking, how is you going to evict us and be still paying our payment? He said, I just want y'all out of there. and we didn't know why.
Oh, the baseball pitches. Yeah.
The landlord said Anderson paid her rent late several times, and she was violating her lease because her 20-year-old son wasn't on the initial paperwork. He had come to live with her when his college closed because of the pandemic.
And that's petty.
The CARES Act, the coronavirus relief package Congress passed earlier this year, halted evictions for anyone living in properties with federally backed mortgages. But that only applies to about a third of renters nationwide, and it's set to expire July 25th. In addition to the federal protections, most states put a pause on all evictions when the pandemic first hit, but those rules only postpone evictions. If tenants violate their rental agreements, landlords can still evict them once the moratoriums expire. And that's exactly what's happening now to people like Rhonda Anderson. When South Carolina let its moratorium expire in May, it saw a spike in eviction filings, says Charleston attorney Nicole Paluzzi.
What we're seeing now is a significant bump in the non-payment of rent cases, and a lot of that is related to people being unemployed during COVID-19, during the shutdowns.
It's really kind of a perfect storm.
Princeton University's LeVar Ed.
Right, everybody's starting to see that this devil, this Edomite, is the actual devil. If there's a pandemic going on and y'all took all the jobs away and whatnot, how you expect somebody to pay their rent, man? Y'all still, they still charging rent and everything, man. That doesn't make sense, man. But that's how you know the society is wicked. And as far as the landlords and everything go, you know, at one point in time they used to be compromising and, you know, I have mercy on you, you know, and you know, they probably was your best friend and everything. But the times we're living in, the Lord wrapping this stuff up, man. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Right, so people are waxing cold on each other out here, man. It ain't gonna be no love out here in these streets, man. You know, only for the brotherhood. You know, through the spinning power of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. And then if the Lord dealing with you, you gonna receive mercy from your landlords and all that. See, us that's doing the work, we doing this to prepare ourselves so we can receive mercy. Them Jake and them, they not gonna get no mercy, man. They're going to be the ones that get kicked out of their houses and turn to robberies and all types of violence. Or might even try to kill their landlords and everything, man. You know, because they ain't got no other options. They didn't prepare themselves. Jake and them don't know how to hunt, start fires, don't know how to survive for real, man. So, you know, that's what they get.
And studies evictions. He says they were already a major problem before the pandemic.
The last 15, 20 years, you can see rents have been increasing considerably, whereas incomes have remained relatively stagnant.
In 2018, 1 in 4 renters in the U.S. put more than half their income towards rent. And about half of renters have less than $1,000 in savings.
They're paying rent, but they're sort of on the edge of something goes wrong, and now we've got a problem.
What's pushing many renters over that edge is the economic fallout from the pandemic. One recent survey found up to a third of all renters weren't able to pay rent in April. That's causing housing advocates to warn of what they see as a worst-case scenario, a spike in homelessness right in the middle of this outbreak. That could expose more people to the virus if they end up in shelters where it's very hard to socially distance. But Boston Medical Center's Dr. Megan Sandel says not having quality, stable housing is also tied to other problems like food insecurity and increased stress. And that can in turn trigger long-term physical and mental health issues.
An affordable home is like a prescription for health, and nothing showed that more than during the epidemic. And so now is the time to double down on stocking that housing prescription.
Like many aspects of this pandemic, people of color are also most vulnerable when it comes to housing. Blacks and Hispanics in the U.S. are twice as likely to be renters as whites. And during the pandemic, Black and Hispanic workers are more likely to have lost their jobs as well.
Black and brown renters are disproportionately likely to be extremely low income. They're much more likely to be severely cost burdened.
Diane Yentel is president of the National Low Income Housing Coalition.
As we look towards this potential wave of evictions that's coming, that too will disproportionately harm Black and brown renters.
States and cities are already using federal money.
Because ultimately Esau wants to bring in this new world order, and eventually he want to get rid of Jake, man. Everything that's happening was already set and pre-planned and thought up by think tanks and everything, man. So it's going according to how they want it to go, to a certain degree,
For rental assistance, but housing advocates say much more is needed. Earlier this year, Houston's $15 million fund was tapped out just 90 minutes after it opened up to applicants. Landlords are pushing for more rental assistance too. Doug Quattrochi is the executive director of Mass Landlords, a trade association in Massachusetts.
And landlords don't like to evict their paying customers or their non-paying customers. We want to have customers, and we want to have people occupy our housing.
Quattrochi says when rent isn't paid, small mom-and-pop landlords like him struggle to pay their own bills.
Even though there's a pandemic, we still have to pay for repairs. We have to pay for insurance, real estate taxes. 5% of our members are insolvent and are selling their buildings to get out of the business. Another 20%.
Because of this pandemic.
Because of the pandemic, plus the resulting shutdowns and the eviction moratorium, they can't operate anymore, and they're done.
Really a bad time to move.
After going to court, Rhonda Anderson agreed to a deal with her landlord. The landlord would apply for CARES Act rental assistance to cover the missed June rent, and Anderson would vacate the house at the end of the month. But the eviction wouldn't go on her record, something that could have made it harder to rent in the future. But the quick move...
That's how you know this Esau is the devil, man. Because you can't get you can't rent at a lot of places if you got an eviction on your record. So, where you gonna stay, man? Who you gonna turn to if you by yourself?
Move meant her family had to go to a hotel. Fortunately, it's only temporary.
We found a place, but it's not open up until after the holidays, so we have to stay in a hotel for like 8 days. So that's how life at now.
And hotels are expensive. If you can barely make your rent, hotels can be up to $50 to $100 a night. So, by the end of the month, that's a couple $1,000. This is all the plan of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Esau just carrying it out. This is 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 7. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. So the Lord got his hand in all of this, man. And that's what you women get, man. Y'all women been talking down on us, the prophets, looking at us like we ain't nothing, looking at men in general like they ain't nothing, and pretty soon all the power is going to be taken away from y'all. They already cutting off police officers' jobs, they're not answering certain police calls, the food prices is going up, clothes prices, the price of living in general is going up, but your jobs is not, you ain't getting no raises, your job's going overseas. So the times is coming. You women going to want to be with a righteous holy man, an Israelite man, the one who got the truth, not just any man, or y'all gonna suffer the same fate that this place got, which is destruction and death, man, or destruction. Salakia. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 8, he raises up the poor out of the dust and lifted up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. Right, so ultimately, after everything's said and done, the Lord gonna raise up his people, his elect, his chosen, starting with his elect, his chosen, to rule this world, man. And then, y'all, as I with the elect, we're gonna birth everybody back. So,
And as evictions pick up across the country, that's how life could soon be for thousands more Americans. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm William Brangham.
All right, we're living in the last evil days, man. So, with that being said, call Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.